being here with us on the Empowered Women podcast with empowered conversations. And today is about narcissism. And today we have, as always, my great friend
Anna.
and our guest, whose name
Siobhan.
is.
Siobhan.
Yes. So thank you very much for you all to be here with us. Shaban, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us what you do and what is the most rewarding thing you have from doing the job you do?
Okay, yeah, I'd love to do that. So, my name is Siobhan Sullivan, and I am the founder of the Art of Sacred Wisdom Coaching, and it's basically transformational coaching. I help people with relationships, but I more than anything, I help women in the second half of their lives really, really rock it and live outside of the box. And help them to move beyond dysfunctional relationships. So, the most rewarding thing is seeing the transformation, not just the breakthrough, right? But the actual life change where they don't go backwards. They don't go back to the old dysfunctional relationships or jobs or behaviors.
Okay, what do you mean by second part of their lives?
So generally, it's not exclusive to that because I have some very young clients. But generally, the thing that I love doing most is helping women who, for example, are getting out of really bad relationships, who are older, they're done with, raising children or whatever, or they're completely done with the career they're in. They're totally burned out and they just want to get the heck out of there. So I help them to make that transformation and start living the life that's, true to them, screw what everybody else thinks and tells them and the shoulds and all that kind of thing. I help them to just like totally rock this new life.
Okay, very good. Can you tell us an example that you are the most proud of?
Oh gosh. Okay, sure. Well, probably I'm the most proud of my own. But that's kind of what got me on the road here. But I would say, gosh, I've got a few. Probably the most recent was a woman who's, she's a professional. She's in accounting and that kind of thing in corporate America. And she had gotten into a new relationship that was actually a very, very old one. But she's, in her late 50s and they reconnected and it blew up. It like turned into kind of a nightmare. And the guy had moved into her place. And she was wanting help to really make things work with this guy. And, one of the things I try to get through to people is that, listen, I can give you the tools, right? I can give you the tools to make this like epic if the person you're with is healthy. If they're not, you're going to find out really, really quickly when I give you these tools. And so that's what happened with her. She picked up all these great tools for communication, for really holding space, for being able to totally see him and hear him. And he was not capable. And so she was able to end that relationship very, very quickly and move on. And she's actually kind of recreating her life now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Anna, do you have any questions that you would like to ask?
Well, I would like to ask to Siobhan the type of clients that she has is just a niche, or do you work with whoever gets to you, whoever finds you and needs help?
So in general, here's the thing. I was a counselor for like 15 years. And I'm 60 now. So I've lived a lot of life. I've raised children. I was married to a narcissist for a long time and got myself out of that nightmare. And my coaching is really about helping people to kind of transform their lives, right? So I have clients. My youngest client is 20. and she's been with me for quite a while. She likes to re-sign and get to new levels. But my niche is really for women who are trying to move beyond the unhealthy, beyond the unhealthy relationship, move beyond the unhealthy career, and again, really kind of transform their lives. I relate more. I have a lot to offer younger women because of all my experience. I've raised children. I was a counselor, but I relate more to my own recent transformation. And so I relate more to the women going through that. And that's really the thing that I'm loving the most is the women like 45-ish and up who are looking to dump the job, they're not really looking for a relationship that much at this point. They want their own amazing kind of eat, pray, love life.
Yeah.
It's one of your favorite movies, isn't it, Anna?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Shaban, what is your perspective of an empowered, healthy woman?
So the very first and foremost is that she has deep self-love, that she's able to love herself, flaws and all, and actually be able to look at those flaws and embrace them, not just tolerate them, not leave them in shadow, but pull them out of shadow and turn them into the gold that they were meant to be, right? We were all meant to be these brilliant, magnificent creatures, and the world just beats us down. And so that's the foundation. It has to start there, right? It has to be from the inside out.
And it is very interesting that you mentioned the shadow contracts. The shadow contracts are everywhere. Is that you need to do this in order to get there. You need to be pretty in order to be happy. Those are that's double thinking. It's like you are believing in two different or two opposite concepts that mutually exclude themselves.
Yeah.
And the body does not accept that because that's incongruency. And the body needs to be congruent in order to maximize the energies, isn't it?
Yeah.
And because we know we live in an upside down world, most women that I work with, they have an uneasy feeling that something is wrong, but they can't really point out what it is.
Right.
And it's exactly something that we found out, or we have mentioned. It is the narcissism.
Yeah.
The me, myself, and I. And people are narcissists because they have been traumatized in the first 18 months of their lives. And they have been so traumatized that they are led by a false self. So they do not have connection to source, most likely.
Right.
And the thing is that the more narcissistic the person is, the less empathy is going to have. And it's going to have the lack of confidence on themselves and on others. Okay. So from the literature that I have read, the smartest and the most intelligent way to keep your own sanity, it is to go no contact with any type of narcissist. The other methods that exist, there are 8 methods. The one is no contact. The other 7 methods will always compromise your sense of empathy and your sense of confidence of others. So I totally agree with the opinion of Sam Vaknin that he says that if you want to keep your self-love, your sanity, and your sense of self, just go no contact, even if he's your mother, even if he's your son, if he's your partner and you have a successful business. Okay. And because we live in a narcissistic society, in which very few people manage a lot of people, and I've sent you a link about the video that it's 4 minutes video that explains that. That it is that the hierarchy systems are psychopaths. They are psychopaths magnets.
Got it.
So exactly. They don't have empathy. They see the other human beings as toasters. They're just resources.
Yes.
And the feminine, the feminine does not have a role in that type of society.
Right.
Okay, so we must organize ourselves in order to create a new model by using our imagination.
Absolutely.
And aligning our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking into consideration that feelings are also cognitive processes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not only about the mind, it's also about the feelings. Okay, Anna, what is your take on that?
Well, I agree with everything you said. I just remember that at this point I have a client which her 17-year-old daughter is a tremendous narcissist. It's terrible. And yesterday I was just on the phone with her. Even yesterday it was like crazy in that house yesterday, in the house, because she can't just abandon the daughter. So she has to try to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the best way for her to deal with it is loving the best possible herself, her own self, and sometimes not hearing what her daughter is saying when she's having an attack, because she's the type of having attacks. I mean, she's a lovely person for 20 minutes, but then suddenly it's, I mean, possible person, worst person. So the solution is just loving yourself. She owns the house. She's her mother, but she's a woman, and most of it is, well, love herself, nothing else. Love herself, divine power in herself, growing all the power inside herself, and knowing how and when to ignore. Because when you are in your power, you know that some things you have to ignore in order not to put your vibrations low. So that's my point of view. It's not easy. It's not easy to deal with the narcissist, especially in these cases, because I mean, it's her daughter. She has to provide a house and food for her. So she's 16.
Yes, I would like to add on that example you have just shown, Anna, which is an excellent example. According to the studies that I've conducted and the people that I've analyzed, the narcissist has to have what the narcissist phase ends at the age of more or less 23. Okay. So by the age of 23, you are an adult. You have to have your shit together. So until then, you have the excuse of being because the brain is still forming. Concerning your client, I would drill down the 7 other methods that exist, and we talked about a few of them. Is the gray method, that the person is, you are just as boring as hell.
Yes. Yeah, she's already doing that.
Yes, exactly. Then you have the high spots of high quality attention, and then withdraw the attention. High spots of attention, and then you withdraw the attention. So that I also do that with my daughter, because my daughter comes to me for kisses, and then she starts complaining, and I already know, because she's gonna start complaining now. I withdraw.
Yes.
So that she doesn't get used to and we can talk about it later if you want to, about these issues. I have some good tips that might help her. Shaban, do you have any tips that you could help the Anna's client?
Yeah, I think one of the things that can be really difficult with a narcissist is that we don't want to get into too much black and white thinking. And yet with a narcissist, there is some black and white, ways that we have to handle them.
Yes.
So definitely when somebody's 17, they're not developed yet. I agree 100%. Most 17-year-olds are at least somewhat narcissistic, if not borderline. And especially females, and the borderline kind of acting out, even if they're not diagnosable. But the most important thing, and because I had to live with my ex for a while before I moved out, was, again, starting with self-love, just like everybody's been saying, but boundary setting, and that can be first internal boundaries, so that our boundaries aren't like Swiss cheese and they're not penetrating us with their stuff, right? Their energy. But then also, what you were saying, this kind of be very boring, but come up with like a company line. There's a book by a woman named Nancy Levin, and it's wonderful. And so you come up with a script ahead of time, right? And when you get to that place, you just repeat it, no matter how much they freak out. And you don't repeat it 10 times. You repeat it a couple times and you're done.
Yes.
And keep coming back with that company line. I love you. I will do, I want to have this relationship, but this is what I need from you right now. No other explanations. No defensiveness. No backing it up. This is all there is. Stay calm, and let them do what they're going to do, and let them face the consequences of their behavior. Don't protect them from that.
Exactly. You have to be consequent. Exactly. I also do that technique. So you repeat the technique, but I have smaller kids, so it's different. Because
it is.
Yes, it is different. I have we call it in German a Vorwarnung. So I do a pre-warning.
Yeah, that's good.
I do a pre-warning before. I used to do that to my father also in Christmas, because every time in Christmas he used to complain about the potatoes. So before the potatoes came to the table, I said, I don't want to hear you complaining about the potatoes.
Yeah.
So I already, before I go somewhere, I already demand the best behavior. But I have smaller kids, so they are easier.
Yeah, I love that idea of like pre-framing things, right?
Yeah. You set the expectation. Yes, exactly. Like you're in the company. And your boss says, this is the goal, this is what's supposed to hit, and this is what's supposed to happen. So that they get used to it.
Yeah. I mean, that works in every area of life. It works great in coaching, right? You let people know ahead of time, if you want this to work, this is the attitude you got to bring, right?
Yes. Well, I have smaller kids, so when I have the voice of the boss.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, and they feel it. I said this.
Oh yeah.
This is not negotiable. But I have smaller kids. I don't have. I used to work in a call center. For a very a thing that you connect to the TV. I don't want to say the name, and then you play, and then something like that. So. And the kids, especially the boys, they were 12 years old. So what happened was that the women were divorced. They had the machine connected to their bank account, and the women called the call center complaining that 2,000 euro were missing from the bank account, because the boy was pissed at the mother and they just spent the money.
Wow.
And she says, how am I going to pay the house rent?
Yeah.
Because since that little boy was 3 and 4, they have not taught the child consequences of misbehaving.
Yes.
And I also have a very good friend of mine. She gives, or she searches for jobs or pushes the people up that have been without work for several years. And she had a woman from an Arabic country. So the husband was here in Germany, and he married a woman from an Arabic country, and he spanked the woman in front of the kids.
Mm.
And my friend, that she's Russian, she told the woman, if he keeps on hitting you in front of the children, the children will start doing that to their wives.
Mhm.
So my friend told her, you need to leave.
Yeah.
So she left for a week just to teach him a lesson that there is a place to go in Germany.
Mhm.
Okay, so the thing is that there are always ways to by setting boundaries, as you've said, you are teaching the others where your limits are.
Right.
And that's the job of the feminine. The job of the feminine is to set the standards of behavior high.
Mm.
And we are not taught how to do that.
Mm.
In order to enjoy the forbidden garden of our femininity. That's my perspective.
Yeah.
Mhm. I totally agree with it. Actually, with this client, that's exactly what I'm doing with her. I mean, the self-trust, the proud of being a woman,
Mhm.
and not letting her go down because of her daughter's behavior.
Yes,
Because,
exactly.
you see, so it's the empowerment of the
Yes.
feminine that she has inside, and it's totally forgotten.
Yes, exactly.
Through self-love, self-trust,
Mhm.
and all that feminine power that she has, but it's totally down. And now, well, she's better, but it's always hard. I mean, a 17-year-old daughter, she's just 17 now. It's not easy at all, but that's how you say. I mean, society school doesn't teach that at all. So
No, quite the opposite.
you have to learn with life how to deal with this kind of people, and they come to us because somehow we will get stronger after dealing with them, our insecurities, and the way, and how strong are we to get rid of this situation, how strong are we to not be hurt by this person, what can I do? So it's something that makes you grow a lot. Definitely.
Exactly. And it's amazing to be with people that can guide us.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Shaban, do you have anything further to add?
I would just say that, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I would say that the boundary setting thing, all of that stuff is kind of everyone's job. I think, women traditionally have always been kind of that's been put on us a lot, right? But I'm raising the bar for everyone. I want everybody to start respecting and working on boundaries. And so I don't think it matters even necessarily what sex they are, or where they come from, or anything like that. I think it's really about all of humanity evolving, right? It's really about everybody evolving to this place of respecting other people's boundaries and having our own boundaries. But I do agree that women tend to be the ones that lead in that respect. I think we've for a number of reasons, but I think just by virtue of giving birth to children, we're so much more focused on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for us to raise the bar for men and non-women.
Yes. Totally agree. Agree.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of men in situations, especially at work. I have clients as well. I work with men as well, and there are very frustrated men at work. They can't achieve what they want. They can't achieve the work, the promotion, because they really have the capacity, but their energy is just not strong enough for them to blow. And that's the problem. But it's all about self-trust, finding your own leader inside, and trust yourself, love yourself, because everybody starts changing around you. And you
Yes.
start respecting other people's boundaries as well. So it's all a cycle, actually. Everything is connected.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, the recording has already 26 minutes, so I would say it's to finish the podcast here. It is amazing, this conversation. Do you have a few last words, Shaban?
Only that I would love to sometime discuss with you more about what I think is happening, especially for men with those inner archetypes or those inner parts of them that they don't know about, that are keeping them, like, we were just discussing how they're stuck, right?
Yes.
Can't
Yeah.
seem to move beyond. And this is all deep inner work. This is what I'm expert at doing. I love it so much, because this is about them going in and meeting the shadows in themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what actually the eclipse that just happened yesterday is all about. Anna and we have been talking about it the whole weekend, because yes, we have been talking about it. We can talk a little bit after the recording.
Okay.
So we don't mix the topics.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Anna, do you have any last words you'd like to share with us?
No. I mean, it was great being here, and the conversation was really nice.
Yes.
We are all women that really love what we do.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
it's always nice. So I just want to thank you both.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
for
Well,
having
it's
me.
yes. Welcome. So thank you very much to the audience to be here with us. The emails, as always, to contact us are going to be on the description and also on the video. Okay. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I will just stop recording.